All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to TSGG Chat. This is episode 6. I'm your host, Kevin Bork. We've got a great show this week. We're talking about some of the E3 most anticipated titles, updates for them. But first, head over to tsgg.online and sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's completely free, and it comes with a welcome gift for becoming a member. So check that out. We would like you to consider going over to patreon.com/TSGG to see the many subscription levels that we offer. For only $1 a month, you'll get early access to almost all of the podcasts and videos that we offer for free on services like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, YouTube, and others. Why wait longer when it's only $1? Also follow us on Twitter at TheSochGG and watch our YouTube videos. When you do, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's meet the panel so we can start the show. This week we've got Brett, Brennon, Jake, and a very special guest, Slen. Welcome.
Well, I know you guys have all heard about Slen from Jake. He's his favorite human being. So welcome, Slen, to the podcast for your first day.
Thank you. It's an honor being here, honestly.
We know it is.
Heard great things.
We're aware.
Welcome, baby.
Okay. We're going to have to tone that down a bit.
It's too much.
A little too much. We'll cut his mic immediately.
Jake will be gone.
I am the new Jake.
All right.
He's the new Jake.
So just to get started, we're going to start by introducing you guys to Slen and who he is, his favorite games, just like we did in our very first podcast for you guys. And go ahead, Slen.
All right, Brett. Just so you know, my favorite game is Skyrim. You know, I really do find a lot of enjoyment in that game, and as I sit here in this room, I'm feeling a lot of judgment about that.
Boo.
And I'm wondering why.
There's only judgment coming from one person.
One single entity.
The only one who matters here.
Really, Brennan.
My God.
Skyrim, I mean, there, like I said earlier when we were discussing
game's an
this.
RPG and it's not The Witcher 3, it better be a futuristic RPG.
Is that how that works?
That
Are
is
those
how
the
that
rules?
works. Those are the rules.
Do you really think The Witcher 3 could be as good as it is without Skyrim?
Yes.
I don't
I
think
so.
think
I don't
Skyrim
think so.
Don't think so.
had that big of an effect on CD's projects.
Skyrim had that big
It's
of an effect on all RPGs.
Get it right.
Every single one.
Post Skyrim.
It's been
If you
ported
say
55,000.
The Legend of
Oblivion
Zelda
was
Breath
better,
of the Wild
just saying.
isn't as good as it is without Skyrim.
I've never played Breath of the Wild, Kevin.
It's a
I don't have
fantastic
the
game.
Switch,
You
my
watched
man.
me
Everybody should play
play
that game.
so many hours of Breath of the
I
Wild.
mean, I like Skyrim more than Breath of the Wild. So.
Oh my
Wow.
God. The
He's
pain.
never played
Wow. You okay,
it, but he
Jake?
says that. Jake's, he's dying.
I'm dead.
Good thing we got new Jake.
I am here. You can leave.
Oh, you see, I love Skyrim. I think it's probably one of the best games I've played in the past X years. Because it's been a while since I've actually touched the game.
Because
Even
he's
the
50.
Wow.
That's why you had to say X.
Get off
guys.
my goddamn lawn.
Now, just to clarify,
Wow.
I have thousands of hours into Skyrim. It's a great game, one I love. The Witcher 3 is just so much better, in my opinion.
Well,
It's more advanced.
That's,
Of course it's
it
going
was
to be
later.
better.
It's better.
It should never be worse.
It is better.
They each had their own.
That is my only issue with his pick.
I think that they
There
each
is a
had
better
their.
game.
Motherfucker.
Are you
The only reason I play Skyrim anymore is because new mods come out, like Beyond Skyrim mods, which are just fantastic.
Well, that's
Awesome.
fine because the game came out, what,
17,000 years ago, approximately.
It's been
2011,
approximately
right?
since
Yeah.
the sun, exploded.
Well, there's also 4K graphics packs.
Skyrim
like
came
modded,
with the
so-
Big Bang.
with the Big Bang.
Wow, you
But yeah.
just followed up my joke.
I did.
It was
I
the
did.
same joke.
It was terrible.
Except
Well-
Slen said the sun exploded, and that's not accurate.
Not
but
how the big
Oh,
one.
we
I'm
can
sorry.
pretend.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway.
I had to
I
fix
mean,
it for him.
Each game,
Thank you,
It's
Kevin.
because we called him New Jake, and now
It's
he's
New
just
Jake.
like,
He's taking
Hey,
over
Jake.
for Jake.
It's just
I have to
He's really
live up
doing
to
it.
my title.
I think
naturally. That's our bad.
Jake, did you have something to say? No.
each game had its own.
Okay.
Like,
Anyway, so
no. What do you have to say about it, New Jake?
I know where I stand right now. I'm not.
so
thinking.
what makes Skyrim your favorite game? So there's so many games out there, especially like new generation things like that they've got the new graphics. Like Kevin said, a lot of the RPGs learned from what Skyrim did well, what Skyrim didn't do well. So what makes Skyrim your favorite game, even so many years later?
I think honestly, it's just replayability. Like I can go back to Skyrim any day, start a new character, and choose whatever path I want to go. And I know there's many games like that, but Skyrim has so many options. So many. I can go straight from Helgen, go to the Mages Guild, or the Winterhold.
The Mages Guild, the
Yeah,
College of
my
Winterhold.
bad.
Come
College
on.
of
It's your
Winterhold.
favorite game.
I
man.
know. I'm sorry. I was saying the same
Terrible.
thing earlier.
Mages College much better in Oblivion.
Eh.
I like the writing so much more in
Listen,
Oblivion.
Your
I'm
opinion
sorry.
to me
I'm
is
sorry.
bad right
I'm
now,
jumping
so I
in
just
on
need
this.
you to just.
You guys are about to box.
Anyway, continue.
Anyways, yeah, I can
the
just
listeners, they all want to hear it.
I can pick up the game, play it again, and enjoy myself from level 1 to level whatever I like to play it at. And it's not like something. How do I say? It's not like I'm obligated to play the game.
You don't
I
have to
can-
sweat it.
Yeah, I
The-
You
just,
can relax.
I just play it. Exactly.
The Constellation
understand that.
leveling system was fantastic.
In Oblivion? Or the
No,
new, Skyrim?
That was Skyrim.
I preferred Oblivion's level
No
system as
way.
well.
Oblivion
Yes,
was much more
absolutely.
rich, and so wasn't Morrowind.
And the thing with that is Obsidian helped with the writing back then before
That is
Bethesda and
true.
them split ways. And Obsidian's a very good writing company,
Yeah, they
which
are.
is why Pillars of Eternity is such a good story.
Well written.
I've played
so
Pillars of Eternity.
Skyrim being your favorite, you also were a big player in the Smite.
Yes, I do play Smite, that great MOBA game. Currently, actually, there's a rumor going around that Smite is dying, so it's kind of interesting. How
Do you think it's true?
In a sense, yeah. Hi-Rez doesn't really know.
They just
How
came
to-
out with a new character, though, right?
Have you actually taken the time to look at him?
No,
Compared
actually,
to-
I
Baron
don't play
Samedi?
Smite.
Yeah, Baron Samedi. He actually has a root, a stun, some other healing. He also heals other players, and he can pull other gods. So that's like all of.
So he's OP, is what you're
He's a
saying?
pretty
that's like
strong
four-
mage.
4 of the classes in one person, and then made him a mage, so he can have the most overpowered items in the game.
So he's out now, right? Is he
No,
brand new?
now for console, or actually
Oh, okay.
since the console and PC are linked now, not until next patch. Next
And
patch
so-
will be out, and then he'll be everywhere.
So he's going to be an insta ban then
He's-
for
yeah,
everybody.
pretty
Well,
much,
he's
yeah.
already banned and ranked, and that's all
He's
I play.
already banned.
Thank God.
So speaking on that, what is your rank in there, Slen?
Right, so I know you want to hear about this.
This is
so
what
much.
This is why
Because-
he's here,
Wow.
just
Thank
so that we can hear about this.
Wow. So I actually I was number 2 Thanatos for Smite consoles. I'm gonna put that out there because you think it's
Console.
the world. I mean, it is, but only in consoles.
Yeah, even so, consoles. That
Is it
means
world consoles or just US?
Well, I'm not really sure about that.
It's probably server based.
Probably.
Probably
yeah.
US.
So
then.
well, not just U.S., North American, probably.
I was gonna say NA, North America.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was number
Number
2.
2, NA. Nice.
Yep.
Congrats on that.
I
It was,
didn't
it was
think
more than Thanatos, though, wasn't it? Weren't you highly ranked in another one as well?
Yes, it was. I want to say the Morrigan, but I don't think that's correct. I don't remember who it was because I only play Thanatos nowadays.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Just Thanatos.
Just
So I have
And
a,
you,
That's astounding.
it's
Go ahead.
it's been a
Number
while
2.
since you played. You
it was.
said, right?
It was. Yes. I haven't ranked them this season because
So-
I'm just lazy.
what's the reason you haven't played? Have you lost interest?
No, I've played the game, just not the god. I think like the meta right now that the game's going through, there's not really a good place for assassins
Oh,
on
really?
there. So it's just basically mages, hunters, and warriors.
That's
So
unfortunate.
it's just going through that MOBA
Yeah, it's
period.
going
Yeah.
through that more period.
'Cause-
But if they don't get their stuff corrected,
So
it's
balance,
bye-bye.
balancing issues
It's-
right
it's
now.
gonna be
Then.
a
A lot like
paragon.
Right.
Overwatch.
It's a
I'm-
paragon. It's actually it's Overwatch. You have to bring that up with this. Once they brought in Brigitte and kind of nerfed a few players, a few characters,
Tracer.
Not naming any names.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Tracer main here.
Who hurt Brett?
Tracer, man.
Yeah. Youch.
You hurt me.
Anyway,
Tracer got nerfed.
yeah, her pulse bomb. They nerfed it down from 350 points of damage to 250, so that you could no longer your ultimate basically didn't kill tanks.
Oh wow.
So
Which was kind of the point of the pulse bomb, because smaller characters got out of the way, whereas you stuck tanks with it when they were in your face.
Yeah.
Now there's literally
But I mean, there obviously DeFran and players like that who are still top 1 in the world. He's a Tracer main, so he still makes it work. But
people
I
who
think
aren't
just-
number 1 in the world
yeah,
have a
it's
little
hard.
more trouble.
But in that with any MOBA, you have to talk about that. They brought in Brigitte into competitive, and she was so broken, and so many of the streamers. Tim the Tatman was one of the biggest Overwatch streamers on the planet, and he I don't think
Left
he
for
streamed
Fortnite.
it in months. I think it's
Left
only
for
Fortnite.
But did he really leave for Fortnite because of that, or did he leave for
Well, he
Fortnite
streams
because
Fortnite
of
now.
Fortnite's
Well,
extreme popularity?
I think it
He
was a
does
little
not
bit of
like when
both
people say that.
because he stopped enjoying the game. I stopped enjoying the game. I loved Overwatch, but when there's a broken character like that where I mean video after video online, you saw everything. People were going unkilled with this character, which in Overwatch is kind of unheard of, like where you're playing top 500 and you're not dying, and that's just it makes it hard to play the game. A lot of the players, and this isn't any MOBA. Anytime they bring in a new character or a new hero, Smite has a little bit different because they have that ban feature that other MOBAs don't have.
Only in ranked though.
So right,
Well, that's where it matters.
that's
most.
where it's
Correct.
people sweat it, and it makes it hard to especially number 2 in the world. I can't imagine the stress. You don't really you sweat a game a lot more when you're ranked or when you're playing ranked. So when you're that highly ranked, I can't imagine the stress of a new character or something like that would kind of make your character obsolete.
Or when the developers
much.
make your character obsolete.
Right.
Through nerfing,
Through nerfs.
which
Yeah.
is
In MOBAs like
awful.
this, though,
Awful.
a lot of the times when it comes to a MOBA, they learn from their mistakes. So I don't ever think that Smite's going to die out. I think they're going to make it into another season where they're going to be like, you know what? When this season comes out, they're going to be like, well, guess what's next season? Assassins.
For my wallet's sake, I hope it does. Honestly.
For your wallet's sake, I hope it does too.
a lot of MOBAs don't learn.
It
from
was
their
to the
mistakes,
point
Jake.
where
It's weird because I've been through every single like MOBA in a sense. Like I've hit like League of Legends,
He's
Heroes of
gonna
the
say
Storm,
Heroes of the Storm. I knew it. It's his favorite.
my favorite.
I
Smite
can honestly say
Here
Heroes is
was
the only one that I actually played. Of
so
any
freaking
MOBA.
fun. Heroes of the Storm, Smite. I've played Dota and Dota 2. I've played Overwatch. I've played Paragon. I've played a whole bunch of those types of games, and each one of them, after enough people bitch
Paragon
and
2
complain,
has been announced, by the way.
that's
I thought
that's
it
really
was
strange.
It's
a
weird
fan-made
because
thing.
Paragon died.
They're gonna make Paragon 2 a viable game, I bet.
Probably.
really,
Is that for real?
Oh hell yeah!
I thought that was a
They
fan
Guaranteed.
killed that, and they put the developers on Fortnite. Are you sure that's happening?
I
What?
believe so. I saw it announced.
Paragon,
I can
Paragon
actually
is
look it
high
up.
res, which is
Oh yeah,
Smite.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I
No,
can
my
look it
bad.
up to make sure right now. Actually,
Yeah, what was
Fortnite
the-
is
what was the other one?
Epic, I think, is Fortnite. I
Yeah,
think.
they were doing something else, and they killed it for Fortnite.
Epic.
I don't remember what it was either.
I give Fortnite till mid 2019.
Bulletstorm, I think that's what Epic does.
I think it goes
I'm
down.
trying to remember what
I'm not
Epic
sure.
does.
You give it what? What did you say?
Mid 2019
For what?
for Fortnite.
I think
Till
Before
it
it
falls?
dies.
I think the craze of battle royale is gonna die down, but we're gonna.
I hope
Especially with all the
I don't
Black
know.
Ops battle royales.
I
coming
don't
out,
know.
and I hope
I don't
so.
know if it does.
Black Ops Battle Royale and what was the other
Battlefield.
one? Battlefield Battle Royale apparently
Yeah,
are
that's both of them this fall.
insane.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
People played them at E3, the demos, and apparently they are going to kill Fortnite because
Well, I don't know. I don't think
I-
they kill Fortnite. They have a better chance of killing PUBG.
well, when you
than they
look
do
at
Hands down.
that's true, that's true.
It
But
is.
when you
Fortnite's a
look at
builder
these type
game.
of games, and Fortnite is also free, which gives it that kind of leg up.
And Fortnite's on Switch now, so it was downloaded 2 million times in 24
oh,
hours.
there it was. I knew that was coming. That statistic just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Tell
That's
me
why
about
I'm saying it's
tell me
gonna
about how
take a
PlayStation
year and a half
players
to get
feel
rid of.
about that. Would you, real quick?
PlayStation players
Yeah,
are
tell
very
me-
upset about
Tell
it.
me how they feel about that.
I was
Tell me
one of
about
the
it.
first to go to log in, and they said due to some it's funny because they said in the writing, Epic did, that due to some manufacturers or developers limitations, you can't use your account. And I was like, oh, you have to create a new account, and then
Now, who would have an anti-consumer
was
policy
only-
like that?
it was then discovered that
Strange.
Xbox players were able to sign in. It was
No
only
problem at
Sony
all.
players who couldn't. And then Sony came out and they acknowledged it, but they didn't. And the way
We're
that,
not fixing it.
did you see what
I
they
didn't see their
announced?
statement on
their
it. What was their statement?
Their official statement
It was hilarious.
was, we have over 80 million players on
I did actually hear this.
PlayStation Plus. We are a great platform to play on.
High
Sorry,
five to
not
all of you
sorry.
folks who
That
just
is
decided to
the
play it.
biggest slap in the face.
It is.
They didn't apologize. They didn't do anything. They said,
No.
"Hey,
They
you
said,
can
"Do you wanna
You
play?"
can play it on
Play it
PlayStation."
Man, there's
Come
a
on
lot of
over.
games out there you could play.
80 million subscriptions out
With
there.
that, I bet we see cross-platform Fortnite.
It is.
It can
Is it
be.
already?
Yeah,
It's
Nintendo
on
and
every
Xbox?
platform except Sony. Sony
correct.
players play by themselves, and everybody else is cross-platform.
Yep.
Actually,
They actually
no,
showed
it's not
that-
accurate. Sony and iOS and Android are cross-platform.
They showed
These are
it
the
at
phones
E3
getting
that they were playing on. I think it
Oh,
was
that's really cool.
They were playing on Switch, and I think there were mobile players in the same.
Yeah.
In the same. what
All
is it
of the
called,
other
lobby?
devices are connected.
That
And
bothers
they
me
were
so much,
discussing
honestly.
that.
Sony only allows iOS and Android. That's it.
So, like, the thing about that is, like, because I think we had a discussion about Blades, the Elder Scrolls game coming out. Like,
Is there?
Right.
Mhm.
yeah, like,
Well, early tests are showing it's not great.
Surprise.
well, of course it's a beta, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not out yet though. So
Yeah,
You
vote
guys
for
were
it,
too
Brett?
hyped for that, in my opinion.
I
Anyway, it's a
wasn't-
mobile game. Don't get hyped for mobile
yeah, but I'm not
games. It's
gonna-
really
I'm-
my opinion.
Cash
on 'em.
grab.
I would never get into it because my phone is made out of
I mean,
literal
they can only
trash
port
cans.
Actually, a
Skyrim so
plastic
many
port.
times. They
Seriously.
need money somehow.
This is
I love
Three
you, but
plastic
that's-
forks.
basically
It's kinda
Skyrim,
placed
but we're
together.
changing the name.
It looks more like
Blades.
Oblivion.
I
honestly.
actually just wish they ported Skyrim, honestly. I don't want
the phone?
Oh,
Yeah.
what was
It would probably be
So
a better.
about
Paragon
better
2
outcome.
was
for
confirmed, by the way.
$60 on the phone.
about the thing
But
that
it's not called
That would be
Paragon 2.
nuts.
It's called Paragon Redone. So it might just be
A remake.
they fixed some issues and are putting it back out. So I'm not sure.
Interesting.
about
And it's
the-
by Unleashed Games, according to this.
about the Fortnite thing. It's the same thing as I was talking about Blades. Having it through a console or whatever other device, like having it through an actual gaming device in comparison to having it through a mobile device. How do you compete? Like, how can I sit there with my Nintendo Switch and someone has a Fortnite on their phone? How, I'm gonna smoke you. Like,
No, you're not.
No,
No.
you're not.
No,
You don't
you're,
think
you're
so?
gonna get headshot immediately.
It's touchscreen. All
right
that,
in a
all that
row,
guy's doing is tapping.
and you're
your
gonna
head,
die.
no,
And you're dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically,
Insane.
And on
you're just gonna put down
CPU,
your
it's the
Switch.
same thing. They're just tapping your head.
They're
Yeah.
clicking, except they're using a mouse that time
Yeah, you know how it is.
instead of touchshreen.
It's the same as Overwatch.
Yeah,
So if you
like
come
that.
across those guys, just put down your Switch.
Just put it down.
Because they beat
something to
you.
eat.
Go get a sandwich.
The thing that I mean, it's there are aspects of it that like building is a lot harder on a phone than on a
Than on a-
console, obviously,
or a
just because
computer,
there's so
right.
many things going on. But so there's kind of give and take in that situation, which makes it kind of worthwhile, I think. And it's a free game, which I think anything free, people are definitely going to want to play. And Fortnite is so incredibly popular that having cross-platform is huge. And I think this is actually a giant misstep for Sony to come out and not. And they should have
The
come
way
out
they
and been
said
like,
it was
"Hey,
just so
sorry,
bad."
this was a mistake."
The best.
and-
It's like I told you guys before. Sony's not doing this cross-platform. They have no interest.
I hope this is
insane.
continues with better games than Fortnite with the cross-platforming, because there's more things that take into the Switch.
What other games do you think could be successful like this?
Cross-platform,
Oh, all of them.
all of them.
Any
You think
multiplayer
something
game.
like Fallout
Absolutely.
76?
Yeah, for sure.
oh yeah, without a doubt.
Well, I'm thinking like,
I mean,
what game is it going to take for Sony to get on board?
I don't think they will.
I
You
mean,
think
Based
they're
on
just
their
gonna-
current policies.
Sony's
They've drawn the line
Well,
in the
the-
sand.
the
They're
Same
not-
thing with the modding. They
The
don't
thi-
let people do
You're right,
with
they don't.
outside assets. It's
Right.
It's not good. I don't know
They-
why they take that stance,
They,
but
they were like, here, you can have mods, but have the bad ones.
yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, it is what they've
Yeah,
done,
they did
yes.
do that.
That's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
own Skyrim. On
Got
my
really
Xbox,
excited that
just
mods
for
were
that.
finally coming, and I saw them, and I was like, no.
Well, you should play.
Never
on,
mind.
You should play on your
Put the
Xbox.
excitement away.
That's
immediately.
why I
yeah,
give you
you get
it.
them. You get all the
You get all of them.
the mods.
You should see his
my texture packs, my blood textures.
You get all that.
It's so good.
No way.
His stuff. There,
It's like 8 gigs of.
I don't know why he
mods
complained
I have
about
on-
Skyrim because he does play it.
No, I love the
a
game.
ton
It's
of
just
Skyrim.
when there's things like The Witcher 3 out, I can't say it's a better game than that.
I think it's more like when you play over 1,000 hours in the game, you kind of get sick of it and you don't want to talk about it
Could be
anymore.
that.
You get
Could
that
be that.
jaded feeling.
Yeah.
But he does mod. It's.
But I love Bethesda. They're one of my favorite companies.
Yeah,
and I
without a
love all
doubt,
their
without a
games.
doubt.
And Fallout New Vegas is still one
The
of my
thing
favorite
is
games.
that makes me think Sony
10
will
years
never
later.
do it is that Fortnite is easily one of the most popular games out right now, and they're not willing. Instead of saying, "Hey, we made a mistake. We fixed it here. Now you can do it." They came out and said,
They
"Hey,
said, nah.
hey, play it on PlayStation. Hey."
It's probably
Yeah, we have a very large base.
And that's an
You all
incredibly
bought ours.
Fortnite
Play
is an
on it.
incredibly
Or
popular
don't.
game.
It's up to you.
And the biggest thing for me here is that it's free except for those skins. So
Yeah.
people paid for the
Well,
paid
it's the
for
seasons. You're paying for the season access now. That's what they call it, right?
I'm not sure.
The season pass, yeah, something
You
like
the
that.
battle pass, but you get the free pass too if you want to. Just
Well,
do
there's
that.
the free tier and the paid tier.
Right.
The paid tier, you get way more stuff.
It's a battle
Oh
pass.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
The battle pass. Yeah, and that they roll out the battle pass every season.
you're right. I've never.
So it's
I'm
not the
I'm not
battle
gonna pay
pass.
for it.
You don't get the battle
like level
pass
40,
for
and I'm
every season.
happy.
It's the battle pass per season. So
Oh, I'm
just
not
think
sure.
about. Well, you want to know how much money they're making? They just threw up $100 million to give away. So they're making money.
Oh yeah,
And they're on
without-
just
Well,
about
yeah.
every platform now. So some of our EA games that we're looking forward to,
EA or E3.
EA,
What?
which would be
Anthem.
Oh, there's just one.
BioWare's, and just one.
I guess
I thought somebody mentioned
Ori
Battlefield.
2 is good. That
And
we're
Ori.
looking forward to.
Sea of Solitude.
Are you looking forward to
That's-
Battlefield? Because I'm not
I'm
really
not.
looking
Didn't
forward
somebody
to
say
Battlefield.
Battlefield?
He was
Yes,
talking about the
uh,
Battle Royale. It's supposed to be
Battlefield
really good.
5's Battle Royale was available at E3 to play, the demo, and apparently it's insane. Apparently it's so much fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get to take a tank and run it through your building. What the hell?
That's true.
That is
yeah.
that is.
But
valid.
yeah, I'm
destructible
That
environments.
kind of stuff's going to be in the Battle Royale.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Destructible
Oh, shit.
environment.
I can see that being fun.
I could
Yeah.
see that being
So
fucking
it's going to be
amazing.
all out war.
yeah, that's exactly.
Is
what
it the
is.
same
It's
typical
all out
like
war.
storm
Excuse me a
system
moment while
closing
I
in
run
on
my
them,
tank
or
through your
something?
building.
I'm not
You
sure about the storm
schmuck.
system.
It's probably a
Wait.
map.
Whatever. Yeah,
I don't
just a
think
map.
it'll be.
Apparently it's a huge map though. Like,
Well, it's got to be. There's going to be
crazy.
100 people.
Imagine the
Yeah.
sniper kills in that battle royale though on Battlefield.
That would
That's
drive
true.
me
Yeah, dude.
insane.
You're getting sniped
gonna be
everywhere.
One good thing about Battlefield though is there's bullet drop, so it is difficult. To
That means,
snipe.
but then again, people learn.
Well, Black Ops.
Well, yeah,
is
there's
also
fantastic
doing that.
snipers, but there's
Right.
also
Yeah.
going to be people like me who creep
Phase.
through the bushes for 40
So-
minutes until there's 2 of us left. So
That's my thing. Like
Been
with
there.
the two.
I don't
So-
know if that would work in Battlefield 5 because it's so high pace.
Well,
No,
I mean,
it could though.
to be fair,
it could.
Fortnite.
I guarantee you
Fortnite's-
people will hide until the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
if it's
you-
anything
that-
like PUBG, like it's gonna be,
You
you're gonna
find
be
a good spot and you stick there.
sitting there and chilling out until they tell you to move.
It's survival.
And you get lucky if the map, the circle happens.
Plus,
It's
if,
to
you're
where you
half
are,
decent,
yeah.
there's you can kill people. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a Battlefield.
Your little house campers. Just sit there and
Multiplayer's
wait.
not that bad.
Little house camper.
Well, and you got to get your RNG and make sure you get a good gun. So
And then
I'm not
get
sure
the
how they'll
tank,
do
and
that.
then
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
If you
think
go
they're
in
gonna
with a
do
loadout,
drops
if
and
you have to
stuff?
find a weapon, if you
apparently
just start
there's
with
like
like
airplanes and stuff too. So
That'd be dope.
that would be insane.
Yeah, I
So
wonder
that
if
means-
you do pick loadouts.
I wonder if they. No, I don't think so. I think
I
it's
hope
probably
not.
gonna
I
be
hope
the
you
same.
start with
It's
like
a battle
shovel
royale,
and
there's
then
no
go
So
with
it's going to
that.
be you pick up your stuff, but I bet they're going to have a kill count system where like if you hit a certain kill count, you get to.
Like
yeah,
a kill
an
streak?
airplane or a
Yeah.
tank
Oh,
or
that'd be
something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Right.
Call it in.
Imagine
All right,
if that's
I'm
like the
kind of
highest you could
excited
get
for
there.
that now. But
I
Get
mean,
to,
it's
like, 15 kills, get a
apparently
tank.
it was crazy. They
15
played
kills
the
to get a
demo
tank.
away.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but
You know, I'm
Oh,
not.
yeah.
I
really-
average
It's a
about
tank.
5
There's-
kills around
There's plenty
in,
of videos
in,
if you guys
Fortnite.
want to
so
go take a look. There's plenty of
15's
videos on
high.
YouTube of the E3 demos. I haven't taken a look at them just because it's not. I'm too busy watching Anthem videos myself. So
literally,
I haven't taken a look because I don't give a shit. So,
I'm with
but
that.
I will say this: you have the two juggernauts of war multiplayer games that release annually to high ass numbers, releasing battle royale modes. They're going to do some damage out there.
well, COD is
and
only multiplayer, no campaign.
Yep.
And-
This is the first time.
that
there's
was
no
a mistake.
campaign.
It is the first time they're not having a dedicated campaign, but they are doing stories. So that is acting as their campaign this year.
speaking about battle royales, I bet Halo's
Lame.
going to announce one soon.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
They already have like their strategy.
Halo Infinite
games
is going to
and
be
their-
something crazy.
I think with
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, it's going to come with a battle royale mode.
Nope.
I think
I disagree.
Halo Infinite is going to be the Destiny killer.
Well,
What are your words? Anthem's
Stop
gonna
saying
murder
Destiny
gonna be the
Killer.
Destiny
I'm
killer.
saying-
Those words should never come out of your
Hey,
mouth.
Destiny.
They
killed
should never
itself,
come out of
guys.
my mouth, but no, Destiny will not kill itself.
It
We've
already
already
has.
They
They
saved
have
it.
We've already
fallen over
determined
their game
who's
so many
saved
times
it
that
again.
They
saved
can't.
it.
No,
They put
Forsaken-
another
Saved it again.
$75 price tag on there.
You literally
It's like,
saw
here,
Cade
pay
get shot
$200
like
per
in the
game.
head. I'm not going to play a
I don't know if
game.
you know this or not, but the developers did an interview. Cade is dead.
Yeah,
he
what
is-
the hell point am I going to be playing a game
Whoa.
without Cade?
Also a terrible choice.
That's an absolute
Cade
terrible
was my
choice.
favorite character. They
Is-
never
Silly. He's the only
Was.
thing he did
Now he's
anything.
dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Have
Was.
fun.
They never went
Zavala
into his
just
lore
stood
either.
around.
They
I'm gonna
looked
say
at
this.
So much lore on him.
Dear Bungie, sorry, not sorry. Never going to play your game again. You killed Cade.
They don't care.
That'll hurt them.
Also,
Hashtag
$200
and-
price
Zero.
tag you throw on every game
That'll
you make.
That
Don't
hurts
like that.
They did save the game. Kevin and I have discussed this because both of us huge Destiny fans.
Huge.
They saved it with Forsaken. Everything we've seen is going to be crazy.
Yeah, Gambit is awesome.
Gambit is incredible.
Really.
Is it worth
Yeah,
paying
it is good.
$75
Yeah, it is
for?
sick.
The problem that I can't get over is that
No.
they
Not at all.
have thrown two new $40 price tags at us. There's a $40 price tag on Forsaken, and the annual pass is probably
35.
going to be 35 to
35.
$40.
No, it's 35.
So $35. So that makes Destiny
75
2
bucks
a
to get in.
$200 game,
I got the
depending
deluxe,
on the edition
so-
you got.
right?
Yeah,
Which is hard for me to stomach.
right.
I'm not going to shell out shit for that.
However, they did say
$100 of
that
is disappointing.
come this September when it releases, they will have full, because you have to
As
have,
you wear the Destiny,
you have to
t-shirt, by
have the
way.
two expansions in order to play Forsaken.
Oh,
So they said that they're gonna have pack deals.
okay.
So
Oh, so it's only $60 for the
Oh,
whole pack.
good.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, let me just rebuy that.
So
yeah.
that hurts me. That does. I think they do
It
save it with
Can't
Forsaken.
stomach it.
I think they do.
Disgusting.
I think
I-
the worst part for me is that they're charging us this money and they're still keeping the Eververse system in there.
Endless cash grabs. And
Yeah.
on top of this, with Bioware devs, Mike, what's the last name? Dara. He said their story content's going to be free for Anthem.
He also has. They've taken the Fortnite method. You're seeing a skin, you're paying for a skin, you're buying a skin. You're not getting.
Plus, all
It's
the
not a
skins
loot box.
are unlockable through the game.
What a
It has been
freaking
confirmed.
genius idea. Because, like, you,
Except for the Legion of Dawn that you get with the pre-order, he has confirmed you cannot purchase those and you can't earn them in the game.
So you
Ooh.
have to get the pre-order to
So
get
that's
that.
the only way to get.
I mean,
them.
that's the
And
best
that's
way
only
to.
an $80 version of the
not
game.
even
That's
$71.99. It's only
That's
a
the only.
$10
That's the only two versions of the game.
correct.
correct announced yet. He hasn't said.
Well, no, they in that one tweet though he said
He
that's
said
it.
that's the all they have planned so far.
Oh,
he
okay.
continuously leaves space for it, which hurts me because I want to pre-order it, but I'm not.
I'm
gonna
thinking
pre-order
if
it,
they
so,
had a
like,
give me,
collector's
give me,
edition,
a,
we
give me a
would've known by
ranger,
now.
ranger big.
I don't think there's going to be a collector's
I don't think
edition.
there will be one.
I want one.
I don't know if there's.
Same.
We would
I
have
want
known
a
by
Ranger
now because
statue.
they got a
Yes, 'cause
manufacturer.
and they have a release date for it, so
Yeah.
we would know. I think, which hurts me because there's so much room for a
Collector's
little
editions.
collectible statue, like you said, a ranger, a
Javelins.
little
Give me-
javelin.
give me one
exosuit,
javelin.
like-
Xbox One X version. Oh my god.
yeah, so
Do
Buy
they
it in a
do-
heartbeat.
They do consoles like that.
Xbox special consoles.
They do this.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Kevin,
Same as
they do.
PlayStation. Did you think PlayStation had that only?
Well, I've never
He's
seen
never,
any of
yeah,
the
he's never looked at
Xbox
it.
Gotcha.
ones.
We had the Gears of War 4 actually. We got that one,
That's dope.
the special Xbox One S, which was very cool. I think I have a picture of it. I'll show
We
you.
gave it to our sister.
It's a very cool edition.
Nice.
It was awesome though. It made
So-
the Gears of War sound when you turned it on.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
a theme
Awesome.
song.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That is cool.
But so they have announced that Mark Dara has been doing insane. He announced an Ask Me Anything for one day. I think he's on day 7. He's still going. People are asking him questions. He's
Knocked
I
him out.
appreciate him so much. He's given us so much information. Constantly giving us.
So, what update do you have for us on Anthem?
Okay, so we might as well just get
Let's
right
get into
right?
it. You've been patiently waiting.
I
there's
still
quite-
think Anthem's
there's-
the Destiny
There's quite a
killer.
bit of information. I do think it's still the Destiny killer. He has announced they are looking. I know in one of our podcasts we talked about the combos and the multipliers. You guys didn't like them. He's announced that they will be a toggle to either turn them off or shrink them. So that's in. It's already confirmed.
I personally love them.
I'm
so,
leaving them.
Yeah,
I
they
like
look
them
great,
too.
I think.
The visual information for me is key. So
And the combo and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's been confirmed that it is in there. We mentioned that. We talked about the skins, the cosmetic system. Basically, what you see is what you buy. If you want to purchase, he also, like Brennan said, he's confirmed that everything is you can get in game. They've confirmed. One of my personal favorite things is the customization that they've confirmed. Basically, not only are you going to be able to customize your loadout, so if Kevin and I are both in Rangers, my Ranger is going to look completely different than his, not only because of the paint job, but you can also get different armor sets. So I can have a different helmet on my Ranger than Kevin will have on his Ranger, and will look completely different, even though we're flying the same
I'm
jet.
just going to stop you right there. I'm not playing Ranger.
And I'm just stating, neither am I, but
Apparently
Four-man
everyone's
storm
playing.
team.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Four-man
everyone's
storm.
playing Storm.
all interceptors are Storm. That's it.
Yeah, that's Storm
I'm going
Interceptor. That's what I am.
I guess I'm going Colossus
You're a team player, but I'm
Yeah,
going
thanks.
Interceptor
Thanks,
Storm.
Jake.
because I love
So
you
enjoy.
guys. That's what this is.
You can go Colossus Ranger for us. That'd be a
Yeah.
good team. We got.
I'd rather have the Interceptor, but whatever.
Colossus
No,
is
no,
actually
we got
the
too many.
highest DPS in the game, so he fires. at
I'm
you.
torn because I kind of want to
Don't-
play Colossus.
Don't
too,
worry,
but-
I'm about to drop fat stacks
We
of
need-
damage.
We should probably go full team, but
We will, because undoubtedly one of us will really enjoy the Ranger's special ability where he fires off 50 missiles and kills everything. So that's going to be really enjoyable. So
Oh yeah, that's
We'll
the
figure it
Ranger
out.
that does that, right?
yeah, that's his special ability. The Colossus fires a nuke, and we don't know about the Storm or the.
We haven't
Interceptor.
seen
Interceptor.
them yet.
He keeps saying. I think they're doing kind of a the demo that they've confirmed with the when you pre-order the game, you get special access to a demo or a beta.
Yeah.
I think they're saving it for that. I think you're going to be.
Slen, are you interested in Anthem?
Not as interested as I should be, apparently. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with Anthem at all. I really just thought it was going to be a letdown. So I
You've
haven't
come to the
kept up
right
with it.
place.
Oh, yeah?
I was gonna say, welcome
All
to
the
the Anthem
information
Encyclopedia
is
known as
inside of
Brett.
me right
That
This
now.
was
is the
the,
Anthem side of the room.
Oh,
here.
I've been here all day just listening to Anthem in the background. Just talk about Anthem.
Every single minute is Anthem.
Every
really
single-
though, the mindset of everyone else here was this was going to be a letdown because it's EA, Bioware,
Except
and
for
after
Brett.
Andromeda, it disgusted me. Being honest, it hurt
You
me
like
a lot.
Andromeda?
I loved Mass Effect; it was my favorite franchise, and then
Yeah.
Andromeda killed it.
Me and you just hate each other today.
Sorry, you
I
like
feel-
Andromeda? We'll talk about that.
I
some other time.
tolerated
We're gonna have to
Andromeda.
fight, but
See, that's the sad thing. You had to tolerate one of the
I guess
greatest
that's fair.
games ever made.
That's
That's
well,
the biggest letdown.
a game from one of the greatest franchises ever made.
Yes.
'cause
Well,
that
yeah,
doesn't
that's
qualify as
better
better
wording
words,
than
right?
what I said.
But with Casey Hudson coming back, and then Brett constantly harping on it for 14 months of my life, I've come around. It looks great. The videos look really good, so I'm pretty excited about it at this point.
I wish 14 months wasn't an exaggeration, because like I remember at least the start of Anthem.
I can
Last
see the
year's
pain
E3.
in your eyes, Jake. Are you okay?
Jake was set against it too.
I was
Everybody
I was,
but Brett.
I was against it, and in E3 I looked at everyone. I'm like, please don't tell Brett that I like this.
I was against it for the most part too, but then again, it's Bioware, so they
God, they're good.
they are
When they try, when they
are
want
my
to be, they
favorite
can be
developer.
great.
So I'm always willing to give them a chance, no matter what. So
Especially with as much information as they've come out with. Another big thing for people is going to be no PvP at launch. No PvP probably the entire game. The reason they said for that is just because they don't want to have to. They want us to be able to play with whatever gun, whatever anything we want to play with, whatever we would like, so that we don't ever have to worry about nerfs.
balancing issues, yeah.
Right, and
Those
that's always a
guns
part of
Are
PvP.
going to be insane.
So they want to give us a huge array of guns, so that even if we're all playing Storm, you're going to have your loadout that you like, I'm going to have my loadout that I like, and we're both going to be doing crazy damage.
And we're going to get killed
Yeah.
because Storm
Because
is so
we're
weak.
playing everybody else, yes. But
Our moves
anyway.
will look fantastic for the brief moment we're there.
That's all that
Correct.
matters.
That's right. You're right.
That's all that
It's
matters.
just four
That's
glass
it.
cannons
that's
going
it.
at a four.
Yeah, whatever.
Going
Don't
at
worry
it.
When
about
has
it.
that
That
ever gone
nice
wrong?
Colossus standing there waiting for us. Or not Colossus,
Jake
what the hell is that
sprinting
thing
from
called?
person to person.
The monster
trying
that
to
was standing
res
at that
the-
lake.
The,
No,
Back
I'll-
up.
I'm gonna do the Colossus. Be like, go ahead, guys, you do it.
Titan? Was it a Titan?
the Ash Titan, yeah, that's
Ash
what
Titan.
it was. And they said a lot of people tried to fight him when they played the demo, and Mark Dara said that
They got
they
clapped.
purposefully made him super powered so that they couldn't hurt him because they didn't want you fighting him during the demo. They
Right,
wanted
yeah.
you to see him, but they didn't want you to fight him. So that's where you see that video of the Ranger kind of fly in, use their super on him, hit
Yeah.
15 600s, and his health doesn't move.
Didn't
And
move.
He said that was the reason because they did make him super overpowered because they didn't want anybody fighting him to see maybe the loot or what would
Plus,
happen.
it was an event, so they probably didn't want to show what
Correct.
happens when you
And that's been
I mean,
complete an
well.
event.
I'm torn because for
loved to see
one,
it.
I'm happy that they couldn't damage him, but now that I know the reason why, I'm concerned that it's going to be easy to kill it. You know?
Well, that's understandable, but he confirmed basically that this is a world event.
Have you?
So if you're not running around with your team, because basically it's server based, so there are 4 people is max in a server. So if you're running around with a team and you roll into an event like this, it's your server event. However, if you were like Brennon and many other players, they're solo players a lot of the time. If you roll into an event like this,
God tier solo player.
Okay,
and
calm it down.
3 other people in your server roll
God
in, this is your world event, and you're playing this with 3 random players, and you're fighting this. So I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think it'll be insanely hard either, because I think they want their biggest thing. It's been confirmed many times is loot. They want you to be able to experience the game. They want everybody to be able to get the loot, not in the way that Destiny 2 did, where they constantly said, "Here, you've played the game for 5 minutes. Here, have the best exotic in the game." Not in that way. They basically they want to make it so that you are constantly having ways to basically continue to play the game.
And the thing with that, have you ever played a hard Bioware game, Kevin?
A hard
Like one that made you sweat?
No.
The first one, Mass
Me
Effect.
neither. No,
No.
none of them.
That was the hardest
This
one
is
for
their
me.
first
Really?
attempt at something like this, so I don't know how it's going to
See,
be.
I had to think for a moment when you said it was hard, because it was very hard for me to play Dragon Age 2.
Well,
'cause
that
of
was
how
just the
bad it
same
was.
map over and over
That's
again.
what I mean.
So I feel
Every
ya.
time I went into a building and it was the same interior, it was
Thing
very
with that
hard for
I've
me.
been
it
here
was
before.
just such a step down from Dragon Age Origins. I know is your favorite game ever.
Yeah.
And certainly one of my top 5. It was just so bad in comparison.
It was worse when we discovered that it was EA's fault for putting the pressure
Everything
on
is.
BioWare
Dragon
to
Age
release
4,
it.
by the way, confirmed.
Yeah, that was confirmed.
Another new character.
That was confirmed months ago, and I was hoping we'd get some sort of glimpse at
No.
E3, and we did not.
It's all focused on Anthem.
You'll never
yeah,
be
they're
the warden
totally
again.
focused.
Yep.
Never.
That's sad.
That just brings pain to
That's
me.
sad.
My favorite character, easily by far.
That storyline was so good.
So good.
So
All right.
good.
And you had the 6 origin stories. Okay, we're getting off topic, but it was
All right,
so.
so this is our E3 updates. So we've talked about our Anthem. We've talked a little bit about Battlefield.
Well, this is the EA portion.
The EA
of the
portion,
E3
correct.
Update.
So now-
Battlefield, Anthem. Anybody care about Madden?
LOL.
I saw gameplay. It looks like Madden 18 all over again.
Obviously,
Doesn't look
Who would've
enhanced
thought
at all.
Satisfactory, Brennan.
Looks like the same game.
Really?
I mean, they got like
you can't go.
Odell
above 4K,
Beckham
right?
Jr.'s tattoos are all there, so I guess that's cool. But
What
I
an
could care
upgrade.
less.
That is an upgrade if I've ever heard of one.
Sick.
So moving on.
No,
What was our
not a
next
fan.
one? Fallout 76.
That would
we're,
be
we're
Bethesda.
still on EA, my man.
What do we got from EA?
Is there anything else for EA? you wanna
SOS.
talk
what's
I don't
more?
have you heard
SOS.
anything?
No, SOS. I haven't heard anything else.
Get an update?
I
Or you
look
just
at the
wanted to shout
website.
out SOS?
Of course, CSL 2 is one of my favorite games that's gonna be coming out. I'm
What do you
excited.
can't say favorite games? You haven't
One.
played the game.
Of the many that I plan on playing.
And then
Beta
Ori 2
thing.
is coming out, which looks really good.
Yeah.
Will
First
of the
game is
Wisp.
really good.
Take a look
Yeah.
at our video coming out soon on YouTube. We have hit our 153rd subscriber, so I appreciate everybody for that. And we'll be discussing Ori 2 and the Will of the Wisp, and giving you a special in-depth look into the first Ori if you never looked at it, Ori in the Blind Forest,
And that was played on Xbox, right?
Xbox One.
So that rounds up the EA portion.
I believe so, yeah.
Now moving on to Bethesda.
In Fallout 76
so-
updates.
Where should we start with this? You wanna
Let's start
just-
right with the nukes.
All right, so nuke updates.
We told Kevin about this, and we didn't tell him the whole thing, and that's
Because
why
he
he
told
wants
me to
to
be
start with
quiet,
this
so
because
let's start
he's
with it.
Now's
been
your
waiting
moment.
for it this whole time.
So when we first found out about the nukes, we immediately thought griefing tool to the max. We were going to destroy everyone else in our
I
server.
suddenly like you again.
That was our instant thought. But as it turns out, you really don't want to do that. Because when people die, they respawn a short distance from their death to avoid progression loss and all that stuff. And when you drop the nukes, it does change the area for some time, and then it changes back to its normal state after a certain time period has passed. But when the area is nuked, you get the highest level creatures, and the best loot is available in those areas.
For everybody.
So what you're going to want to do is nuke the area right next to you, so you can get there, hit that area, loot it all before anyone else gets there, and get out before you have to fight for your life.
Well, I mean, if there's conveniently enemies there that we don't like, I mean, we could just.
So if
So-
we,
Because then they
if we
can come back
nuke
and get stuff.
somebody's town,
They're right there.
do we get loot from them?
No.
We'd have to
We
run
just
there
kill
to
them.
get
Because
it.
they want anti-griefing. So another thing that they've confirmed is that if your village or something is destroyed, it just goes into your inbox as a blueprint, and you can just rebuild
throw
it
it down
wherever.
the next place.
So the only actual loot we get is from the monsters that spawn.
Right.
And like, there's random loot in the area, and it's all the highest end loot in the game.
That's
Basi-
where you'll get all your...
No, I meant just from the nukes.
Yes.
Yes. And they said it's the best way to farm legendaries in the game, so
Also,
we'll do that right from the
another
start and get our
aspect,
asses
the
kicked.
scorch beasts apparently come out of like chasms. Basically chasms.
Now this
that-
is actually the
wow.
story mode he's talking about, the loose story mode they have for the game. There's fissures in the earth, which
Correct.
if anyone's played the previous Fallouts, like the Divide for Fallout New Vegas, it was all about what the nukes had done to the earth and what was coming up from beneath the crust. So the scorch beasts come up through these chasms, as Brett called it. I
Fissures,
prefer
chasms.
fissures myself. You can seal them with the nukes.
Correct.
So that's the story mode. Get the codes, launch the nukes, seal the fissures. I assume one by one until you have them all sealed. Because Scorch Beast, we saw they were level 50. I'm assuming that's the top level in the game.
Cap level 50.
That would be my assumption. So
And very powerful. In the demo, we saw them kill it. I don't think that makes it seem easy. I don't think it's going to be.
that was probably, they were end game gear when they were fighting that
Yes.
thing, would be my assumption.
Yeah, I did like the photo mode though. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that
That was
awesome.
very cool. Very cool. And the way they showed it with the Scorch Beast was very cool as well.
Yeah.
So basically, to kind of sum up with nukes, you're going to basically want to nuke right next to your own village, just so you guys have the best chance of
Or-
getting in and getting all that loot before.
Just more than that, probably right next to the silo you're in. So you can go out immediately to the area. So you don't have to run back to your base. You can just exit the silo and there's the nuke spot. But yeah, it's so not a griefing tool like we all suspected. And
Have they touched on the customization at all?
Yes.
Besides, well, you can customize your character just like any of the previous Bethesda games. Power armor is customizable with the paint jobs, just like in Fallout 4. That's really all I've heard so far. Besides the
perk
build
cards?
anything anywhere.
Perk cards have been discussed. Basically, the ninja card and things like that kind of have been in the past that you've seen. They're kind of going more in depth with it. So there's specializations and things like that. So it's basically going. You're gonna want your team. You're gonna want. So I'm gonna be a certain specialization, and you're gonna work with me. And our group is gonna have each specialization to make sure that we are basically the best that we can be.
Like people who can craft, people who can cook, because it is a survival game. You do have to eat and drink and sleep
Right, yeah.
to survive.
Do you think? Have they said if VATS is going to make a?
They
Is it
did.
going to be in this?
It's real-time bats, though.
Real time VATS.
Real-time bats. So they're still running at you. It's just to help you target specific areas. I don't
That's
think it'll
interesting.
be helpful with PvP because
It
you're
might
getting
be.
shot in the face as you
Yeah,
try
not
and
at all.
bats them. So
yeah,
I
but it could be auto lock though.
don't think it's going to be helpful. Maybe.
I
I'm not
doubt
sure
it.
how that's
I bet
going to
they
work.
remove that.
It's probably doesn't work on other
Where if
player
you could,
characters.
use the VAT system and then go out of it, and you're already locked onto that specific part. I'm sure, just to make it fair, I'm sure they remove that.
Yeah, but if it's
So it still works on enemies though in the wastelands. You can vats
Scorch
them,
beasts.
but they're going at you full speed still. So it's gonna be not what it was. It's not nearly as helpful as it was in other games if you used it. Me personally, I always go into sniper route, so I was 100 yards away sniping heads anyway, so that's probably what I'll do in this game. Because I love Fallout sniping mechanics, because there's no bullet drop.
With the VATS though, it's all percentage based. Like, so if I targeted Brett right now, I would get a percentage of however much I can aim at. So if they brought the VAT system to PvP, it would be just the same thing as
But that would turn PvP in Fallout 76 to whoever clicked the VAT system faster.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
also,
I think it would also depend on the gear that
Yep,
you're
the
wearing
gear.
too.
it would be
Well, it's
gear dependent,
your
movement
percentage
dependent.
is basically has always been perk based.
Yes.
So there's your standard
perks too,
percentage,
yeah.
your skill with the weapon you're using, be it guns for snipers, melee, whatever. And then perks you chose to up the percentage based on how many times you targeted a body part, stuff like that.
I honestly feel like if they're gonna do it the whole game. So
I will
PvP
be upset
included.
if VATS is in PvP.
It might be, but it's probably going to be useless to
'Cause
use it.
When I get an anti-material rifle, and if I have an 80% chance to hit someone in the face, they're gonna die. I don't
Yeah.
care what they're
Just gonna
wearing,
go for the shot.
they're gonna die.
Well, if you watched the PvP demo,
Or a
they
mini
showed
nuke?
us.
It's over.
It's over.
It seems very realistic. And Fallout's always kind of been that way. It seems the damage they take, because if you watch the PvP demo, he
Blew a guy's arm off.
blew
One
a guy's
shot.
arm off.
He did.
And then the guy was kind of crippled and downed, and he walked up and executed him, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So if
So
VATS is in there
We're all gonna do that.
Best.
and I'm using a sniper, you don't stand a chance.
Man, this game looks so good.
It really does.
I will.
I'm
be
very
sniping,
excited.
100%. That's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I always
Weapon
do.
mods.
Stealth and
Did
snipe.
they talk any more about weapon mods?
They didn't, but I'm gonna put it out there that they're most likely in the game. It wouldn't make sense for them to step back from that from Fallout 4. I actually like New Vegas modding system more. It wasn't nearly as expansive, but I just felt like the guns were more realistic. Like in this game, you had the rust rifles and all that stuff. I modded Fallout 4 whenever I played, so it was real guns replacing it. I used a SCAR every time I played the game because it shredded everything, which is a real life military rifle. And I hope they go more real guns, but that's not really Fallout style, so I don't see it.
It's not going to happen.
And they did say this was going to be 4-player teams.
Yes.
Yes, 4-player squads, and modding will be game. To this game. They will let you mod.
Yeah, they
not
Todd
on
Howard,
release,
he-
but afterwards.
He confirmed that himself.
Like game mods. You mean.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
How's that going to work, though?
You would probably have to have a dedicated server.
probably a private server
because
yeah.
they've already confirmed that you can have a private server. So I'm sure that's the only way that it would work,
And
as far as that would go.
hopefully, if that's the case, you can invite your friends to that private server, because
It's a
Bethesda game
multiplayer
with multiplayer, I'm gonna love, because
Right, yeah.
I-
Well, no, don't say that, because
if done right and based on everything I've seen, it was done
prior
right.
to E3, the
Well, I
two
thought
of
it was
us
going to be an
were biting our nails at
MMORPG
what this was going to be.
garbage can game, but it's not. They
Yeah.
did it well from everything we've seen so far.
incredibly well.
Which I guess is my fault for doubting Todd Howard. because
Even the
he's
display
the greatest.
was done well, and how the presentation was
Everything
fucking
was great.
stellar.
And another thing that's kind of been discussed is because it is a survival game, you do have to eat and drink, and at the same time you will have that PvP aspect. Areas on the map, which is kind of a cool aspect. The resource areas, they have Nuka-Cola factories, and
You don't want to drink Nuka-Cola.
they have
Too much radiation.
They have the
Find water.
The Dulce food factory. That's not what it's called, but it's something like that. So something interesting that's been discussed is, because this is a real time, it's a survival game. If we take over something like that, where we have all the access to the resources, that gives you a very big leg up on your competition, which is a very cool aspect of the PvP.
More on that. There are mines in this game where if you own them, you get resources from them.
Correct.
Like lead mines to make your own bullets, which being a survival game, I assume.
What
is
do you
going to
mean
be
if
very
you
useful.
own them?
Like if you clear them out
Cap
of
them.
enemies and capture them, essentially.
control
like
of them?
Inquisition,
Yes,
I would
sir.
assume, would be
Right, yeah.
similar to that. But much more useful in the thing.
Because
I don't know what that
crafting-
was, but
I don't-
crafting
I don't
is
know.
such a huge part of the game,
right, and being able to press your own ammo is going to be
and have your own
So ammo's limited.
Yes.
Just like any Fallout game. I assume
Sure,
it's going to be worse in this game because
It's so
their mindset
recently
here
after
is
the
this
nukes.
is right after the nukes. It's just you. You're rarely going to find people. Most of the NPCs are robots. Most of the quest givers are robots.
Right.
Because
And
every
that's
other
why-
other person is a real person. There's not
Correct.
human.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
true.
no human
Because you're the
enemy
first
in the
out
game.
of the vault. Is
The closest
the
thing
whole
to a
thing.
human enemy in the game is a
Well,
ghoul.
one of the first faults.
right.
Yes.
Not the first.
Correct, and that's why we're seeing other people in the game around us. But they've made sure that when you walk around the world, the only humanoid creatures you're going to come across are ghouls or
Probably feral ghouls too.
Feral
not
ghouls.
NPC ghouls.
Well, they've also
Right.
you see if you take a look at the map, there's an insane asylum with a fence around it. That's down and they've shown you on the map. Basically, you should be this high level to do this.
Oh, okay.
And if you look on the
Zoning
map,
it.
So a lot like the glowing sea
Yes.
in Fallout 4. You didn't go there until you were suited out in power armor and level 50.
Well, what about you, Slen? Is this a game that you're interested in? Fallout 76?
Yeah,
His
actually,
favorite game is Skyrim, so I would hope so.
you and me we gotta pick a side here. We're good, we're bad. Come on. But yeah, I am excited for Fallout 76. I was worried about it at first because, well, I don't have friends, so I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much, but it looks
Jake
from
is so hurt right now.
He is.
Jake. You're my
That was
brother.
Jake.
That was Jake just tears in his
He's
eyes.
meowing in the back. Yeah, but no, I am excited for Fallout 76. Hopefully you guys are hyping this game up to me a lot. So
He's-
I'm really hoping these games do live up to their hype.
So-
That'd be
Slen's
amazing.
about to squat up and take us on.
You don't want me to be your enemy, Jake.
He's number 2 in the world.
No,
That's
Jake
something,
doesn't
Jake.
want that. He really doesn't want that.
You heard that noise when you said you had no friends.
He was,
It was pain.
it was pain.
But one really cool thing they're actually adding radiation in this game. In the past games, you just got sick, radiation sickness.
Yeah.
In this game, it actually causes mutations.
Ooh, very cool aspect. I
Is it
forgot about.
permanent?
I'll get into that, Kevin. Hold
I
on.
got questions.
You just
I
hold
got
your horses,
questions.
Kev.
So, with a mutation, it's generally speaking, you get an upside and you get a downside. So it helps with something, hurts something else. You can cure them if you get them, probably through Rad-X, just like you cured radiation sickness in the other games.
However,
You can keep them permanently if you want to. There are physical mutations that can developed.
Really?
that you can see.
No way.
That are
That's sick.
just
Oh, that
physical.
sounds
So I
awesome.
really
Yeah.
want a third arm personally, but we'll see how that works out.
What are you?
You don't want 3
He's
arms, man?
No, I don't want 3
I want
arms.
so-
Can we kill each other? Or is there like
I don't
friendly
know.
fire? This is what I'm looking
I
I'm
for.
hope
not
so.
sure. I hope so.
Oh.
For my own
I'll try and
sanity,
blow
I
your
hope
leg
so.
off day 1, and we'll see, Kevin.
Because you start growing stuff, I'm killing you.
He's got
I will
4
nuke
arms.
our
We
own
got
site just to kill it.
I like Kevin. I like his mindset.
That's a very cool aspect.
You come over
Uh,
waving at me with 3 hands. Hey!
This one dangling
that's,
from your
that's
chest.
the coolest thing.
I'd be
is
cool
that
if you could just blow that arm off.
it's
I'm good
multi.
now.
It's multiplayer, so
I have
if,
the cure.
If I have a physical mutation, you are gonna see it, and that's a very cool aspect.
That is really cool.
I really want to become a ghoul because that's always been something that I frankly thought Fallout should have. Since normal ghouls are just irradiated humans, why can't I become that? So if that's a thing, that's gonna be awesome. Just for immersion
roaming around as a ghoul.
I'm just
purposes.
really thinking just walking around with my mic on, calling people freaks that have 3 arms.
3-armed
have
freak
the,
die!
I'll have the right. Is what
You,
is,
yeah, absolutely have the right.
Sorry, I cut you off, Jake. What were you saying?
Oh, not important.
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
So anyways,
Jake was
No.
saying it, so
Yeah, so that's the information I have on Fallout.
yeah. that's
So
what we
far,
learned.
I did not know
um,
about the mutated. That's so cool.
Yeah, that
it's
is
I can't
sick.
wait.
I didn't know about that
They're
either.
doing
That's
they're
really
doing
cool.
quite a bit of cool stuff. They've released quite a bit about the actual creatures, the monsters that we're going to be seeing, and there's some incredible stuff coming from that as well. So
Mothman confirmed.
Mothman was confirmed. Nice.
he's like one of the main enemies. You're not going to be able.
Oh,
to,
really?
To
Well, I mean, it's a massive part of West
fight-
Virginia monster lore.
It is,
so-
so-
the
but I
fight
wasn't
off
sure.
and
Like,
Some
on.
cryptozoology.
he is one of the main things. He will be there in Endgame.
that's pretty cool. Have they gone into Endgame?
No, not
No.
that I've heard.
They
Nothing
haven't.
other than Mothman.
I think really the only game that's gone into Endgame at E3 was probably
Anthem.
Division 2. No, Anthem. They didn't go in Endgame.
Yeah, they talked about the Stronghold.
They did
That's
talk
their
a little
endgame
about
content.
Endgame.
The Division 2 came out and gave you
That's
their
true.
entire plan
They gave
for
you plans.
Endgame.
That's true. They did.
8-person raids. How excited are you for that?
I'm pumped, dude. You know this.
I do.
I'm ready.
Let's go back to Anthem.
You getting
Division 2?
2?
No.
No, you're not a Division guy.
Not a Division guy?
I played the first one. I had a bad experience in the dark zone the first time I played it.
I think everybody
I
did.
shot him with a missile. And took
No,
his
no.
stuff.
I was playing with a friend of mine, and like some stuff went down, and he just shot me. And
The friend hijacked you, didn't he?
Jake, what'd you do?
It
What a
happened.
horrible
It
human.
I never
happened. I
played the
felt
Division.
bad.
Oh, and you
I
didn't?
left the game. I didn't come back.
What a terrible human
Didn't
being.
even look back.
You deleted him off your friends list, right?
No, he's still there. I'm petty, so
They
I
don't
slowly
speak.
take it out on him over the course of the time.
Did you invite him to Smite?
Definitely. That's where my revenge actually happens every day.
That's
Is he
how he
good at
became
it?
number 2.
No.
He is not good at it.
Shout out to my brother.
My biggest issue with the Division was balancing and PvP.
They actually,
So,
they've talked about that
Hopefully
specifically.
they fix it.
They did.
They had a dev interview that discussed balancing and PvE, PvP balancing, and
Before we get too far
have
into this,
focused
we
on it.
should go back to Bethesda and finish up
Yeah,
there
I do
before
have
we
a
get into
question for
Ubisoft.
you guys, because I'm curious about this. To me, the Division 2 looks just like an extended Division 1. So doesn't that like kind of throw you guys off? As
I
maybe it'll not
Disagree.
So
The-
what do you think?
The
is different? But to
combat
me, it
looks the same, which is good because the
That's
combat
very
was
good.
great in the
Yeah.
Division 1. That was never an issue.
More fine-tuned. which
It's
is
more
great.
fine-tuned. The movement looks smoother. I hated the movement in the Division.
Clunky.
It looks much better now. The graphics are obviously cleaner, being a
Yeah.
later game.
It's enhanced.
The specializations they talked about were really cool.
That's Endgame stuff.
We'll get to that when we get to Ubisoft. But essentially, it doesn't have to be a totally changed game. I mean, look at Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Combat was basically the same. It was just more refined, which is, I think, the Division's approach as well.
And there was an Omni tool that
You could use it as a sword.
Right. Well,
Awesome. Don't
I
get me
get-
into
I
Mass
get that.
Effect, though.
that was kind of like my main worry about it. It's like maybe it didn't improve
And-
where it should have.
I think that's reasonable. They actually during that dev interview I mentioned, they actually spoke about. They were asked the question, why didn't you just, because Division 1's always been kind of a live service, they've added so much information. They were actually asked, why didn't you just add it as a DLC? And the answer that they gave, because it is so similar, is that they wanted to rebuild. They took everything that they've learned from the Division 1, all the good, all the bad that they've learned, and they wanted to start at the beginning and rebuild from that and
With just
create
the
a whole
good.
new game with just the good. So they did trying to get that question at E3, and that was their answer for it. So I
Not
think-
only that, but they also had more of the story to tell.
Okay.
Because
So, I
did
mean-
you finish the Division
The
story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so spoiler alert if you haven't
It's
finished
so
the Division.
old.
It's pretty
It's like
old.
2014, my
It's like
guy.
Jake.
Is it
So-
really?
I think so.
No, it can't be.
I
that
think
old.
so.
It's very old.
Is it?
It's
no.
it's just been it's had so many things added
I
to
think
it.
it's 2014.
Yeah, they just been
So
wanna say it's
releasing.
still,
It could be.
the
I
stuff
don't know.
feels kind of new.
Well,
I can find it. Continue
so-
your thought.
The outbreak happened on Black Friday. It was what was it? Smallpox.
It
was
was
like a
modified
form-
strain
a
of
form-
smallpox.
A modified strand. Yeah. So you discover that the doctor who created the strand was killed, and it was a Division agent who went dark.
Rogue.
Did this. It went rogue. He did this, and the last mission of the game, you go into his apartment, and he's already gone. So you get to do the Echo, the Echo
It's 2016.
With
Right,
Isaac.
the
holo-
AI.
the Isaac
2016?
hologram
Yeah.
Feels so
and you
much
get
older.
story when you're going through that, and he's basically they're kind of just like sealing the story, and he escapes. So this is a new location.
DC.
It's 7 months later. You're in Washington, D.C. 7 months later, so no more winter.
Thank God.
It's more spring/summer.
Summer ship.
And the gameplay demo that they showed started in DC's Botanical Gardens, showing a lush, vibrant
Jungle almost atmosphere.
Overgrowth.
Yeah, so they're really showing you that the cold, harsh winter is over. It's a whole new scheme, and they'll have weather systems, rain and sunshine, day and night cycles, and so the story is going to continue on, and you're going to hunt down this rogue division agent.
Well, it sounds like they're just gonna improve on the base game that they had, so that's good. That's really
Totally. And they came out like
Also a Destiny killer. Also a Destiny
That
killer.
that
for
just
sure.
being thrown around. a
There's
lot.
there's so many games that have the potential to do it.
The problem
Yeah.
is so many of them are coming out at the same time. So Forsaken is their savior. It comes out in September. So
and there's really nothing coming out in September.
And then
to
Destiny 3
compete
comes
against
out
it.
afterwards.
they all come out in October.
Ouch.
Destiny 3.
Ouch.
No.
And then they restart the
I don't-
cycle of
there's-
grabbing all your money.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
Call of Duty and
Odyssey.
I'm glad.
Actually, Destiny 3 is where they
Odyssey's not
resurrect
Destiny
Cade.
Killer though. It's a completely different thing.
With a
Try to
completely
save
new
the
voice
game.
actor, they bring back the ghost voice
The
actor
thing
from the first game to play Cade in Destiny 3. That's what it's gonna be calling it now.
You're talking about
Anyway,
Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage, yeah.
It came from the
was
moon.
there anything else to add about Bethesda before? Because obviously we
ju-
moved
just-
into Ubisoft.
The next gen game.
Starfield.
Starfield.
No, we don't even
Elder
talk
Scrolls.
about
Which
those.
we know
have,
nothing
we have
about.
no information.
Don't
about
talk about
so
those.
we
The only
we
thing that
won't
matters
for
is
years.
Fallout 76.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So good.
So back to the Division 2. Another cool aspect, and I know Kevin is a huge Division fan, so I
Yeah.
know this is great for him. They've kind of redone the open world. And what I mean with that is in the Division there weren't so many events in the open world.
Outside of the Dark Zone.
Right, outside of the Dark Zone. In this one, the open world is kind of where you get your events. So in the demo, you see they do what's called a capture point, and this capture point is actually kind of it's a very cool aspect because you can fail. You can fail this capture point, and that becomes a stronghold for the enemy, and that completely changes the way the game is going to be run.
Wasn't the capture point Air Force One?
A crashed Air Force One was the capture point they showed.
Yeah.
So say you pass this, you succeed and you capture this capture point. That is going to have your game from that point on is going to be different than if I failed it. So that kind of makes the open world. I can't think of the word, but it's gonna make the game different.
Definitely
for each
more
player.
immersive.
Yeah,
for your
immersive. That's the word
playthrough.
I wanted.
Well,
So it makes you feel like you're actually having an impact on the world.
I
This is-
definitely agree with that. Real quick before Jake goes into whatever he said into,
Oh my-
Slen, as far as your horrible experience in the Dark Zone, by the end of the Division, they did rework it, so it was much, much better in the Dark Zone.
True.
When they went rogue and killed you, for example, you still lost your stuff,
Fun.
but you didn't lose experience and money
Dark
or
Zone,
your
yes.
Dark Zone keys.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
losing keys was
That was
awful.
horrible.
Irritating? Yes. Awful is a good word.
And they're gonna bring that back. Their best version of the Dark Zone in the next.
Yeah,
one.
they didn't really talk about the Dark Zone. Yeah, I know you want to say something.
No,
Jake,
it's fine,
But
it's
they're
okay.
talking about the
He's
Dark
charging
Zone.
up his power.
They said that the Dark Zone's coming back. It is their best version of the Dark Zone, but that is all they said about the Dark Zone. They were really focused on story here. Jake, go ahead with what you want to say.
So this isn't unknown unknown thing for like MMOs to do, where like if you have an area that like your enemies are fighting over, and then all of a sudden if you don't beat it within a time limit or beat it at all, it becomes captured and changed for the next course of action. So
Right.
like this little small territory now becomes a stronghold for the enemy. It's a great thing that they're building, but it just makes it more solidified as now 100% MMO feel.
Yeah.
So they're giving it more of a world where you have choices matter. If you don't get to it in time, if you don't do it in time, it's gonna fuck you later on.
From
As
what,
I said later on.
from what we got from their brief gameplay trailer was that your choices matter in this one, and DC's already overrun and it's already under control, and it's like what they showed in the trailer was a little girl made a paper airplane and she threw it, and it flies through the world that is DC, and it's all death. It's
She's
all
got a
decay.
cannon, by the way.
She's got
She's
the
got
best
the
one.
cannon. She does.
She does.
Um,
She played for the Yankees before the whole thing.
Oh yeah, is that what that was?
She
crazy.
Aaron judged that ball.
yeah, she did.
Wow.
And so the plane lands on the wood bed, and you, as the division
the
agents,
agent walks
walk
out.
out.
Yep.
He picks it up and he opens it up, and inside it says "help," and then it's foreshadowing.
The best little girl to ever exist, right
And
there.
it is thrown from inside some sort of encampment type
Yeah.
thing, and
She threw it like 4,000 yards or so.
At least, yeah.
it was
I hope
impressive.
we
I
find
hope
that
their
girl.
map is bigger than the first. I personally felt it was kind of small. Maybe it was just because there was so
can't
little
recall
to
if
do
they said
on the
anything about
map,
the
that
map.
it felt
They
it
didn't
was
mention it,
small.
no.
But I just
And
hope it's bigger.
I
and
think that
more
is-
events.
That was the issue. I think the map itself was large. The dark zone was quite large. Running around the map, you didn't feel like you had a lot to do.
This game comes out in March of 2019.
March 15th.
So more information's definitely to come. But the thing I like most about them was they came out on stage and they said, let's talk about what happens after the story. And it was like, what? And then they said, yeah, so after the story, you pick a specialization. There's 3 of them.
Well, is that after the story or after the level
After the
cap?
story. After the story, you start endgame. When you complete the story, you go into endgame, which is then you pick a specialization and you start a brand new progression system.
So that being said, are they pretty much guaranteeing we're going to be level capped, or well, initial level capped by the end of the story, or is there a chance at the end of the story we won't be ready to specialize yet? Do we know that, or
I think it's just when you complete the story, you unlock the specialization,
Regardless.
which begins the new progression system for that spec.
gotcha?
And then the endgame content, which they're going to roll out. They gave you an entire year's worth
For free.
of rollout of content
Yep.
on the stage.
3 separate seasons.
There's going to be 4 major updates to it. 4 major.
I thought it was 3.
No, there was
one
4
update before the 3 DLCs that have come out for.
Okay, so there's going to be 3 major story DLCs, but there was 4 updates and then 4 something
World
else as
events.
well. World events, yeah. So 4 updates, 4 world events, 3 major DLCs,
8-player raids.
and that's their first year's content, and that's all included in the base price.
Because you know, guys, I really need a level.
Right,
Another reason.
and
It's
the
gonna hurt
8-player
Destiny.
raids too. Yeah,
The biggest thing with that is all these companies don't do the cash grab with stuff like this, and that's why I can't stand Destiny, because
Division
that's
definitely
all they
did the cash
do.
grab.
yeah, they
had-
totally did.
They had.
Their loot box
No.
system.
They had the loot box, yeah, but the season pass I bought when I bought the game
Oh, yeah.
had all the content with it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So if you're gonna have a season pass, have all your content in the season pass, or don't have a season pass and sell it as an annual pass that I have to buy 6 different times.
No, I just don't like the loot box microtransaction system. I'd prefer to spend money on the item that I want, not spend
I
money
agree.
on an item
Anthem.
that is a loot box that could
Chance to
potentially
get it.
get me that.
I
item
prefer
that
just having skins as
That is my
transactions.
life.
I don't like
What's
pay
that?
to
That's
wins.
my life on Smite right there. A
You
chance.
like that?
No. I'm saying that is my life.
You'd
Like-
rather just buy the item that you're
Yes,
after, right? Yeah.
definitely.
We can all agree on
Ask
that for sure.
Slen how much money he spends on Smite.
How much money do you spend on
Let's-
Smite?
Let's not. Okay, I'd say this.
Unlimited.
I got paid, and on that same week, I dropped $400 on that game.
Whew.
So
It
just imagine
costs-
that, and just think 2 years
Oh man.
That's like
and
2
have
destinies.
fun hurting.
Oh, wow.
You could have had 2 destinies.
I could have had
Look
a
at
lot
that.
of things. A lot of things.
So very quickly around the table, what are we most hopeful for this fall? I know I cut you. I killed you.
You did. You hurt me.
This fall.
Fallout 76 probably for me.
Fallout 76.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Ooh.
We haven't gone into that yet.
Ooh.
Hold on.
You said
Ooh.
this fall.
I'm still more excited for Fallout.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger Bethesda fan than I am Ubisoft.
No, I have to agree with Jake. I think Odyssey
It's
is
gonna-
got my
It
excitement.
is fucking beautiful.
I've heard that it's not gonna follow the Creed. It's just gonna be.
No, it's not. It's
own
before.
Well,
thing.
it's
before the
pre.
Brothers.
It's pre-Creed, so it's
Yeah.
it's before the hidden ones.
So
which
I'm
was
excited as to what
Origins.
Ubisoft will go with, but
It's just a fully fledged RPG.
Maybe no Animus, Kevin. There's hope there
Oh,
if
man,
it's
I'm
not
so
following
pumped.
the
Because
Creed.
it's
So
not
pumped. For me personally, Assassin's Creed Fallout 76. How do I choose? Oh, I got it. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Disgusting.
Ew.
It looks good, honestly.
It's alright.
Spider-Man. It
Yes,
doesn't
it
look
does.
bad.
I'm not touching it.
So we still have more stuff to talk about later on, but willing to hear?
You want to end it now?
I mean,
We haven't even gone into like 3 different studios.
We haven't, so we'll have to save that for another time, I guess.
Next
That's all the
podcast.
time we have for this week. I want to thank you all for listening, and I also want to thank you all for being here, especially you, Slen. I hope you had a good time today.
I did. It was a lot more fun than I expected.
Your 7
Awesome.
sentences really earned your paycheck.
They were nice.
I'm not
Those were
liking your sarcasm.
those were a
right now,
good
Brett.
7
he's
sentences.
here
I'm
to
not liking it.
entertain you. Doesn't matter how much.
My facial expressions were enough. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
fact.
I was entertained.
I was staring at you the whole time
I saw.
as I gave you all information on video games.
Don't forget, you can find us at tsgg.online, Twitter, and YouTube. Patreon.com/TSGG is where you can help us continue to make better content for you. Check out our levels and subscribe if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. You only have to wait a handful of days more, and you can find us on all of the podcast services out there for free. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
Peace and papayas.
Adios.